How's it going, Matt?
Not too bad. How you doing?
Not too bad. Long time no see.
Long time indeed, I know.
I don't know where to go from there.
It's quite the opener, I know.
Yeah.
Hard to follow up on.
Yep.
We're going to talk about Kickstarter today.
Yeah, Kickstarter. When was the last time you backed something on Kickstarter?
I'm looking right now. How do you even check? I see estimated delivery, but I don't see when I actually did the backing. Let me try and remember. I do remember.
You just have to click on whatever the top thing is and see when it was funded.
Right, I see. The Bay Area Regional Planner board game was my last backing.
That sounds exciting.
Yeah, oh man. If you need a intro to it, it's literally that. It's a board game where it's a cooperative board game where you essentially manage the city planning for the San Francisco Bay Area and try and solve the housing crisis.
Right.
I have somewhat odd interests, perhaps, but yes.
Oh, you know what's interesting? I never noticed this before, but I just looked up that project, the Bay Area Regional Planner, and if you go to the Kickstarter project, there's a button to buy the game online.
Interesting.
So now someone like me who knew nothing about it at the time of the Kickstarter could very easily find a place to buy it.
Buy the game online. So I guess if you're someone doing a Kickstarter project, you probably have the option to set that up, I guess. Looking at a couple other projects here.
That's a feature that I was not aware of.
Yeah, I'm seeing it in some other projects here too.
So did that arrive?
It did, yes.
Nice.
That did arrive, yes.
Has anything else you've backed arrived?
Let's see. Whoa, did I get this? I have like 2 games here that are supposed to have arrived that I know I did not get. Most of what I have pledged has arrived, and I am playing it. So.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. I suspect you have more things on your list than I do. What kind of things are you backing?
I've backed a total of 10 things that succeeded and 3 that did not succeed.
So how do you check? This is successful pledges. I'm looking at.
If you go to backed projects, successful pledges over on the right, it will say how many projects, and then you can scroll down to the bottom, and if there were unsuccessful pledges, it'll tell you how many of those too.
Looks like I've never supported anything that did not succeed.
Right.
I don't remember doing so either. So. Okay. Well, I have 9 items in my list, so we're not off by all that much. I suspect some of these are the same.
Possibly. So I've got 10, and I've got 4 that were a success, like that actually delivered, and I have 1 that I am confident is going to succeed because I've gotten like early access to it, but it's just not completely finished. But it was estimated to deliver September 2016, so it's quite late.
I have 1 here that's estimated delivery is March 2014 that I don't have yet. So.
Nice. I have 1 estimated delivery December 2012 that has not completed.
Is it that one where the guy like burned all the copies of it that were half finished?
No. So this is Hero U, Rogue to Redemption by the Quest for Glory designers.
Okay. Sounds like your kind of thing.
Sort of. So this is a project that I haven't honestly been particularly enthusiastic about, but I contributed to it, and it was the first project I contributed to on Kickstarter because the Quest for Glory games, which were by Sierra on the original, like 1993 floppy disks or something, those are perhaps the best games I've ever played.
Wow.
And I did not buy those games. Those were games that my next door neighbor gave me their floppy disks, and I just played them. And
that guilt of not supporting them haunted you until
Kind of.
2010.
Kind of. Like when I saw that like the creators of my favorite game of all time were fundraising to make a game, I was like, okay, well, here's my money.
Yeah, it's
Because
good you think that way. I mean, I increasingly think that way. I also think that way, but like, I don't know. I know a lot of people who don't, and in my younger
yeah,
years, it's something I probably wouldn't have put much thought into.
yeah.
Yeah. I guess as you
Uh,
get involved, as you get older, and you start building things and making things yourself, you know how important it is to get that support
yeah.
as a maker, right?
Yeah, so I mean, that was, when did that complete? That completed in November of 2012. So we would have been working on our very first indie project, Birthright or whatever we called it
Right.
back then, Project A.
Project B, I think.
uh, so yeah, we would have just very freshly started working on an indie thing together,
Right.
so that was the first project I backed, was an indie thing by people that I uh, expected would get the job done.
Right. I
And
kind of remember too, like back then, Kickstarter was, at
it
least
was
to me, it was a newish thing.
it
And
wasn't even available in Canada back then.
yeah, that's right. Yeah. So, I mean, we were looking at potentially doing a Kickstarter at some point. And then there was the Canada thing, and then we were looking at Indiegogo, and
Yeah,
yeah, a lot of things. Yeah, my first back project here, which is one I kind of regret, and it's totally ridiculous, but it's Cheetah Men 2: The Lost Levels. Have you heard of it?
I've heard of Cheetah Men.
Yeah, okay. Well, Cheetah Men 2 was another shitty game by the same group of people, which I think did not get released, if I remember properly. And then, like,
Yeah, it says it
years
was.
later, yeah, it was just no, there was. I mean, the first Action 52 sold so poorly. I think they went out of business before they ever managed to ship this game. But they
Yeah,
finished it, kind of, if you call it finished. And like some number of years later, they found like a bazillion copies in some warehouse somewhere of
yeah,
Cheetah Men 2. I shouldn't say a bazillion, some amount, like some like 2,000 or so, which makes it actually quite a rare game, so it's quite sought after. But the
yeah,
game, the actual game itself is broken. I forget, I think it's like the third level you can't actually beat because the game glitches out on the boss.
yeah,
So people like have like hacked the ROM or like done whatever else to like get past it and finish the whole game. This particular Cheetah Men 2 Lost Levels
yeah.
is a physical copy that it's the same game, but it like fixes that glitch. So $60 was a lot for that. I mean, it's just ridiculous. But for me, it was. I knew I'd never find Cheetah Men 2 for my collection,
Yeah.
or rather, I'd never find it for a price I'd be willing to pay for. And instead of paying like some number of hundreds of dollars for the physical cart, that's, who cares? I'll just get this, and that'll count. That for me, I now own Cheetah Men 2. Woohoo! Right? So
Yeah.
for that reason, I backed it.
I mean, it's $100 if you want to buy it now.
Cheetah Men 2. Is it really?
Yep.
That's hilarious. Well, I guess I'm glad I bought it. I don't know. I have it anyway. They shipped it to me,
Yeah.
and in good time too, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
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 Did you? I remember talking about this game with you. Did you back Radio the Universe?
No.
So I think we looked at it together, and maybe it was the art style. I think we were looking at, and we were saying, "Yeah, this looks really cool." And maybe I backed it and you didn't. I don't know.
I'm looking it up right now because I don't. I remember the name, but no, I totally don't remember this at all. I remember the
Really?
name and that's it.
Maybe it was me who was saying, "I like this art style. Let's go for it." I don't know, but this is certainly something we at one point discussed, and I liked
Yeah.
the look of it. It looked really cool, looked really fun, so I backed it. Estimated delivery March 2014, so still waiting for that one. They do continue to post updates, and it does still look really cool. And I mean, I backed it for $25. Like, it's
Yeah.
it's lunch
I'm
at
surprised
somewhere.
that's not done because I'm looking at the trailer here, and it looks like it's a mostly complete game.
Yeah, the very first trailer ever looked that way.
Huh. Yeah,
So
there's a trailer here published on March 9th of this year, 2016, and someone says, "When is this game coming out?" And that's like the only comment.
yeah. I still think it looks really cool, and I'm still looking forward to it. I kind of stopped, I don't know, thinking about it on a day-to-day, I don't know, month-to-month basis. But once I do hear of it, yeah, I look forward to it. That was my second backing. My third backing is a game I don't even remember. Emerald?
I don't know that one.
Simply called Emerald.
Emerald by Nick Young.
That's the one.
Reactivated derelict spaceship in Zero G. Experience memories from your past. A story-based action-adventure game for PC.
Yeah, has this... I think this still has not shipped. Let me check. Vancouver, Canada. Maybe this was like something I heard of from the Full Indie meetups.
Yeah, probably. I mean, it succeeded at like just over $10,000, so it's like that's not enough money to do anything.
I know.
It's weird how many people have been coming out and trying to kickstart games for like $5,000 and stuff,
nothing.
and it's like they can't. Like, if it's
it makes you wonder what. Yeah, what do they need the money for? You either have enough for the game already, or you don't, and you still don't, right? Like, I don't. It's a weird amount, really. It's like to cover a few administrative fees or something. I don't know. It's
I feel
really
like
bizarre.
when you've got that, when you're asking for that little money, it's basically like you know absolutely nothing about music, and you need to hire someone to do your music or something. That's like the only thing I can imagine, because it's like that's not enough to pay wages for even a month.
Oh, well, I think this was someone building the game themselves, and then maybe they have a full-time job, so this is just... I really have no idea. I mean, I guess the fact that the game's still not out should tell you... I'm not criticizing necessarily the person for their ability to work on this game or whatever, but, you know, their understanding of what's involved is probably quite off. So... Yeah.
Which, you know, I had something like that too, where I backed this project where this like super ambitious guy decided he wanted to write an entire symphony and get a symphony to record it and stuff, and estimated delivery September 2013, and that still hasn't
but it succeeded, right?
Yeah. Oh, and I should mention that I downplay his ability to get it done and his over ambitions. This is the guy that did the music for Skyrim and Guild Wars and Mr.
Just some
Jeremy.
Nobody.
Yeah,
right?
just some nobody who is not very liked by his fans at the moment.
Because he hasn't delivered on this.
Yeah,
that's the big danger in doing a Kickstarter. I mean, I don't know. It's you're paid in advance. That's a scary thing, right? To me, it's a scary thing. Because I mean, I don't know. Of course, people are going to be upset no matter what, right? Yeah. They don't know what they're getting yet.
So I will have moved 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times since this Kickstarter was originally succeeded.
Nice.
So,
are you one of those people that like sends the guy a message on his Kickstarter project every month or two to yell at him, or are you just kind of like, I'm just going to leave it there and let it happen?
Well, I did send a message on June 2015. I sent them a message, and I said, just as an update, I know the album's not recorded yet, but my mailing address has changed 3 times since this Kickstarter, and will likely change again before it's delivered. Make sure you don't rely on the addresses that are currently on file.
I think I found when things finish, I often get a mail saying, give us your latest info.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they did like a survey like the month it finished, and it's like, okay... I guess.
Where will you be living
soon.
in 5 years? Oh man. Looking at your whole list, like how much of what you back is games? How much is other things? Like what kind of proportions do you have there?
So I've backed 2 music projects, 2 educational projects, and I guess that leaves 6 game projects. Educational.
What are the educational projects?
So there was a guy named Ben Tristram who does video tutorials, and so he did a course that's called Learn to Make Video Games Unreal Developer Course in C++.
Cool. Did it finish?
Technically, no.
Okay.
I have actually checked him as as a received project, but it's technically not finished. Um,
Is that I know that you blog about
yeah,
doing a tutorial. That's his tutorial.
yeah,
Okay.
and so it's currently 44 hours long. There's 264 lectures, but he's not finished yet.
Wow, that's actually a lot though. What was promised
Uh, I would have to look at the trailer to find the specifics because it's not
in writing?
fully detailed in writing on the Kickstarter. Um, but basically, it's a course to learn how to use the API to do C++ and Blueprint stuff in Unreal Engine.
Are
Um,
you using Unreal? Or are you intending to use Unreal?
I used it at my last job,
Right.
and I feel like I want to continue using it. I
Okay.
really like Unreal Engine, but it's not what we use at EA.
Right.
Um, so that course isn't finished, but there is, as of today, 44 hours worth of it that you can see, and it is clearly still in progress.
Right.
So I've marked that done, and I'm satisfied with what I have done of it so far.
Cool.
And then the other project I backed that was educational is called Making a Stunning Fantasy RPG with Game Maker Studio. And
Fancy. Game
yeah,
Maker Studio. Wow. Okay.
yeah. So that's some of the content is available as I'm an early student for that, so
Hmm.
I can access some of it, but it's not finished yet either.
I see.
And that one actually just finished this August, August
Cool.
12th. Um, so
What was your motivation for that one? I don't know. I haven't. I don't
I'm
know a lot about Game Maker, so I don't know what
well, my motivation
the
is
appeal
just that
is.
I'm not a programmer.
Right.
So I am interested in working on my own projects, but it's hard to know where to start with that.
So kind of
And
testing the waters with what's available,
yeah,
kind of
so
thing.
so I've
Okay.
got one thing that's specifically Unreal Engine and C++, and I get to learn a lot about how to do stuff along those lines, whereas
Hmm.
this one is specifically how to do like a JRPG.
Right.
And it's not in Unreal Engine, but my plan is to do it in Unreal Engine.
Okay.
So I will be reinforcing my Unreal Engine and troubleshooting stuff while I'm trying to do something that wasn't designed for it, and also kind of getting to learn about a lot of the stuff that's involved in like inventory systems and stuff that uh, I might not figure out completely on my own very easily.
Got it. Cool.
So I'm looking forward to finding time, hopefully next year, to doing that course. Um,
Cool.
and then so the games that I backed that succeeded, I backed Rex Rocket, which I thought that was a pretty solid game.
Right.
Uh,
Yeah.
it was estimated delivery in January 2014, and it was released, I think, I got my copy in like June.
Hmm.
So they
A
were
little
pretty on
off.
target. They're working on a new game right now that looks kind of like a Zelda game.
Hmm.
And
I
then I
wonder if there's any
backed.
statistics. I wonder if there's any statistics out there on like indie companies that do Kickstarters and how accurate they are, how well they keep to their release schedules.
Delivery success rate, Kickstarter, games. That's my Google search that I just typed. Apparently, only a third of video games fully deliver.
Well, I'm wondering of those that do deliver. That doesn't surprise me either, actually. But of those that do deliver, do they deliver on time? Majorly late? Usually a little late?
I would expect that if a third just don't deliver at all, then
2/3 don't
at,
deliver. You mean?
at least another third is late.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm trying to skim this, but I don't see anything here
I
that
was just
says
curious.
about them being late. Yeah, that'd be interesting. And this is from 3 years ago, so it wouldn't
Yeah,
exactly be accurate stats anyway.
sure.
But and then the other thing that successfully delivered was Mighty Number Nine.
Oh yeah, I skipped that one actually. Did you play it? I heard
I haven't played
bad
it yet.
things.
It's actually on my to-do list. I
Okay,
intend on playing that next year.
right.
I've got a list of like 20 games that I think I might be able to get through next year.
Right. I think that was one of the first of the like they actually have enough money, but this is a publicity stunt kind of things. This is a publicity stunt by a big name
Um,
guy kind of things.
no, I don't think that was the case for them. I think that was the case for Bloodstained Ritual of the Night.
Certainly, yes. And Shenmue 3, both of which I backed because
I don't
I'm so
remember
cool.
which. I think Shenmue came after Bloodstained.
I believe so as well, yes.
And yeah, both of those were cases where they had funding and it was like a publicity thing, extra funding. But
Yeah.
Mighty Number Nine, I don't believe they had any funding up front for that. They were like working on stuff out of pocket, and then
But
they announced it at PAX.
yeah, I remembered that. But didn't they maybe afterwards they went and got a publisher anyway or something? I don't really. You might remember the details, I'm not sure.
I'm I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Um, from what I understand, the game is not the finest piece of workmanship that's been released.
Yeah, I've
Uh,
heard.
but I haven't played it yet, so I can't fairly comment.
Fair. Fair. Um fair. uh well, looking at my list here, so I have my 9 things. I have 2 board games, 2 books, and I guess 5 games. Games being Cheetah Man 2, Radio of the Universe, and Emerald, and then just as I mentioned, Bloodstained and Shenmue 3. So Bloodstained, still looking forward to it. Not, I don't know, I'm not like insanely excited. I actually might be more excited for Shenmue 3. Um, Emerald, I've kind of forgotten about, to be honest, but Radio of the Universe, I'm still looking forward to as well.
Mm.
And then Cheetah Man, man, my only game that's actually been delivered.
Yeah.
Which I don't know. It was really just to put on the shelf, so not a lot to say there, really. I mean, you can play the ROM. The game sucks. It's what you'd expect. Just this like chopped together, terrible side scroller platformer thing.
Yeah.
So nothing too exciting there. The board games, as I mentioned, Bay Area Regional Planner, and then Epic card game. I'm trying to remember actually. Let me look at this again. If I remember correctly, this was. I have to look at the cards. Yeah, this was fun. It's like, I don't know how you describe it. Simple Magic the Gathering without the collection element, I guess. It's just like that kind of game, you just get your
Right.
pack, you play with people. I forget. I think it was a friend of a friend that was doing it, and that's the original actual reason I backed it. But
Right.
yeah, it was fun. I don't know. Not tremendously noteworthy, I guess. And then the books are 2 art books. There's the Dynamic Bible by Peter Han. I don't know if you know who he is.
No.
He's just he's a CGMA instructor. I kind of like his stuff.
What
Dynamic
did you say it's
Bible.
called? Dynamic what?
Dynamic Bible by Peter Han. I
Mm.
like his art style. It's just
It looks interesting.
yeah, it's a collection of notes from his course. I haven't like done his course or anything, but I do have the physical book. It's cool. It's nice. I like it. And another one called Masters of Anatomy, which I actually wish I had not backed. It was kind of very disappointing in the end, and it was expensive.
Right.
But it did eventually get delivered, so
Mm.
maybe a year late. I don't know.
It looks. It looks. I don't know what it looks like. I guess I'm just looking at a mock-up of it, not the actual book. So, how thick was that?
Very thick, actually. It's quite a
Okay.
thick book. Yeah.
What they show online looks like a magazine, basically.
No, it was I 2, maybe inch and a half.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always weird because like I just clicked on it, the Masters of Anatomy book 1, and it's like it's an anatomy book, but then like the anatomy on everything that's shown here is very weird.
Well, yeah. So the book was, I don't know. The point was interesting, I guess, where they had like all these, I don't know, famous, mostly comic book artists,
Yeah.
come and draw in their own style or whatever. But
Right.
it's not like a useful learning tool, I guess. And then also, it's not. I honestly don't remember why I backed it. I mean, the collection of artists, they're not artists I like necessarily. So it's not like I want to like reproduce anything in that style. And then it's just like a single plain, like figure from each different artist. So it's not like this fine specimen of their work and some interesting,
Right.
like from some interesting context. It's just the simple, like, here's how I draw a person. So, yeah, that was kind of a mistake, and it was pricey too. I pledged 85 Canadian, which definitely was not. I did not draw that value out of it.
Right.
But I like the dynamic Bible. That was worthwhile.
Yeah. There was so I've got 3 projects that were unsuccessful, and so the first one that I backed was one that a friend of mine was doing, and it just didn't get funded.
What was it?
Minion March. It's like a tower defense.
Okay.
And I think that was one of those cases, like you said, like you backed it because it was someone you knew.
Right.
And then the next one I backed is, I guess I was kind of torn on that for a while because it's called Legend of Iya.
How do you spell Iya?
Iya.
Iya. Legend of
And
Iya.
it's a project that I really wanted to support. Like, the guy had been working on this game for like 10 years, and it was like this story about like how he's been working on this game, and it's time to finally get it done, and it was kind of inspiring, and I wanted him to succeed, so I backed it. And then before the thing finished, I like kind of reevaluated, and I decided that I didn't have enough faith that it was actually going to get finished, so I withdrew my pledge. And it was successfully funded August 11th, 2013, and the game's not done yet.
When was the I don't even see it here when the expected delivery is.
I don't know.
1,000 comments. I'll take. Is that like lots of people yelling at him?
Probably.
Please give us an update.
Yeah, like he's been completely radio silent for almost a year now. So
ooh, that's brutal.
So at the time I felt really guilty for not contributing, and then I was happy that he did successfully get funded.
Right.
But then now I feel completely justified that I didn't give him my money in the end, because it's still not done. It's like I feel like if the game does release, I might still buy it.
Right. Which I think is a fair approach to take. I mean, you'd be essentially rewarding him for his work having finished it, right?
Yeah.
Which is nice. I don't know. The game looks nice. I like it. It's appealing to me, like looking at the campaign page here. But yeah, backing out was probably the right thing to do. Although you could probably say that of a few of the other things we've funded here.
And then the other one that I backed, I was really disappointed that it didn't succeed, because I like really expected that it could be, and I think they're still working on it, so maybe we'll see it eventually. But it's called War Tile.
War Tile.
And it's like a strategy. It looks like it's kind of like a Final Fantasy Tactics style game, but
is
everything.
War Tiles.
Wartile, all one word.
Oh, maybe the space is killing it. Yeah, don't put a space. War Tile canceled. Okay. Oh, okay. Maybe I saw this. Wasn't this a physical thing?
No, this is Unreal Engine.
Oh, wow.
And it's all designed to look as though it's done with miniatures, like.
Right.
So to me, this looks beautiful, and it looks like it's got a really solid idea and stuff behind it. I don't really know why they weren't succeeding. I would be curious to figure out if it's just like a marketing issue, or whether there's genuinely people aren't interested in the genre, or because I don't know, like it was getting coverage in Kotaku and Polygon and PC Gamer and stuff, like.
See that? It looks beautiful, honestly. I don't know, just a lack of interest. I mean, I feel like I've seen something very, very similar at PAX recently, actually.
It might have even been them, because I think they're still working on it.
Yeah, I'm trying to actually figure that out.
They themselves said, look, this isn't going to succeed nearly the amount that we needed to. Let's just cancel it, and we'll figure something out. So it got like Indie of the Year for Indie Database for 2016.
Really? Wow.
Oh, I guess the voting is going on. They're asking you to vote.
Got it. Yeah, I don't see it on my list here. Don't
Uh,
know.
so I don't know. I'm definitely taking a different approach with Kickstarter now than I was at first. Like at first, it was like the designers of Quest for Glory and the soundtrack guy from Skyrim, and it's like, okay, I'm gonna back these people that I really look up to, and now it's like,
You need a little more than that.
yeah, I think I'm gonna reserve it specifically for something that I think is going to get done, and
Um,
something that I actively want.
yeah, I totally take the same approach now. Like Dynamic Bible, one of the last things I backed here. I forget what it was exactly, but I mean the guy's just done a lot. Like, he's delivered a lot, and he has built a lot. He has all his courses and so forth. I mean, I was fully certain he'd deliver, and it was
Mm,
totally. I never even thought that he wouldn't. Whereas like a
right.
lot of these indie, especially like the one man indie game projects,
Yeah.
I it's almost a given it's not going to be on time or possibly ever even come out, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm very hesitant actually to pledge nowadays. I think it's weird too because even if it's like $10 and you can get the game, and then if it doesn't come out, it's not a big deal. Just having it in my list and being constantly reminded whenever I go to Kickstarter or whenever I get an update or something that I spent the $10 and never got anything. It's like I'd almost rather just lose $10. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like it becomes a negative experience at some point, right?
Yeah.
And of course, that's especially so if you back something for some more significant amount, right? If you pay $50 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which so it's interesting because there was one thing that I backed. There's a band called Anamanaguchi,
Yeah.
and I backed their album. And what was interesting is the album was already done and you could buy it.
Okay. What was
So
their
I backed the $10 to get my digital download, and I guess they were trying to like fundraise like any money that came in they wanted to use so that they could go on tour and stuff, right?
okay.
So um, so I had no problem doing that because it's like, yeah, I'll definitely give you dollars. Uh,
You were buying a finished project.
yeah,
It was very much a different experience by the sound of it.
yeah,
Yeah. And I mean, I don't know. It was like when we were working on our game and we were kind of talking about maybe doing a Kickstarter. I know I tend to be risk averse, and
yeah,
especially back then, where it was my first thing, where I was kind of like doing things on my own and so
yeah.
on. But I still, right now, even I don't know. I just feel like Kickstarter would be such. There would be a huge element of stress unless you're like super confident you can deliver on time, or you
It's
have a good backup plan where it's like if I'm late, I can handle what's said to me, right?
yeah. I had a bit of a hard time becoming interested in using Kickstarter because I had this notion that their mission statement or whatever is that it's supposed to be to back stuff that couldn't exist without this funding.
Right.
And I felt like for us, it wasn't an issue of funding because we were just doing everything ourselves and we were wanted to release digitally and stuff. And so it felt like begging for money I didn't need.
Yeah. Well, then,
Um,
if that's your approach, which is a good approach, I think, but if that's your approach, what's your feeling on a lot of these projects that come out where probably they were in the same spot as us, if not even more so, comfortable with what they were already able to work with?
I don't know.
I mean, you backed Bloodstained.
Yeah, I backed Bloodstained, and I felt dirty about it afterwards when I found out that they already had the funding that they needed beforehand, and
So
it's
you
just like
didn't know that what,
I
at
didn't
backing
I
them.
didn't have that knowledge when I backed it.
Would
Uh,
you have backed it? I mean, I think like it comes
I
with
don't know.
the book and stuff. It's
And that's why I bought it. Like I
yeah.
got the $150 tier on that because
Wow.
it comes
Okay.
with the art book plus everything that came before. I'd have to go in to see what that everything is.
Yeah.
But
Obviously, it's the art book that you're
yeah,
that did it
it
for you.
was kind of the art book that did it for me. So I don't know. Like I guess I can think of it as being like a collector's item or
Hmm.
something.
Yeah.
Um,
Right.
I don't know. I don't tend to pay attention to Kickstarter at all these days. Like every now and then, like those two training courses, I came across that because I was actively searching for something at the time,
Right.
and I just happened to get lucky that it was there while I was searching. But I really don't spend any time whatsoever just browsing Kickstarter to see what's currently active.
Hmm. Yeah, for me, it's mostly like friends telling me about projects and stuff like that. Me kind of just seeing it through the grapevine or through like Facebook updates or something.
Mm.
I don't know. It was fun actually when I was more into Kickstarter.
Yeah.
It's just like I think you're in the same boat. I mean, time
Yeah.
really. It's like I see all these Steam games I want, and I could go on Kickstarter and back more games. But
Yeah.
then, what's the point, right?
I think part of it was just that maybe because we were trying to produce something indie at the time, like it felt like we were getting to be part of the indie community and stuff. And
Yeah, it was a lot more relevant to our life and so
yeah.
on. Yeah. Indeed, indeed.
Well, anyway, I guess I'll keep you updated if I do ever back something again.
Ever again? Wow.
Ever again.
You're not that enthusiastic.
I have no problem with getting something from Kickstarter. It's just, like I said, I'm not actively searching for something to back anymore. So
Yeah, I've actually had people at work who, like, I don't know, seem to be all about Kickstarter, constantly bringing me update or constantly showing me projects and stuff.
Yeah.
I just haven't really seen anything that I've wanted to go out and back. So I'd say there is a very real possibility that I'll continue to back projects at I don't know, a modest frequency, but nothing on my plate right now. And I, like you, don't actively dig through Kickstarter, so we'll see.
yeah. All right.
Cool.
Don't suppose
It's
you've
that
gotten
time.
any time to play anything new?
Well, I intend through this week, if possible, if I can sneak in a few minutes to hopefully beat Cave Story. I mean, the game's not that long. I'm sure if it was like someone else's, game podcast, within 1 week they'd list the games they'd beaten, and it would be one of several. Like it's not a big deal to beat this game, but still working at it. That's
Yeah.
it. How about you?
So
Wow.
Andrew and I have actually been playing games in the evening a little bit. So we have started one called Escapegoat 2.
Oh yeah, the Scapegoat. I like a Scapegoat.
Yeah, you've played it?
Yeah. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's kind of like puzzly, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which tends to be the type of stuff that she enjoys.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, awesome.
So it's been good. We're, I don't know, maybe only halfway through it or something. But
Cool.
it's not bad.
Cool. You're kind of like me. It's like you're not all about playing these brand new games, but they tend to be like 3, 4, 5 years old, just not like 23, 24, 25 years old.
Yeah.
Cool. All
That
right.
that comes with my cheapness because I buy everything on sale. So
Yeah. Well, I'm especially cheap, I'd say.
yeah.
Well, have fun with that. Keep me posted.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
Talk to you later, brother.
Take care, man. Cheers.
Just.